It is episode 129 of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, presented by Blue Wire. Me and Hayden are joined again by Scott, Ani. How we doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Always good during football season.
Always good during football season. Did you dress up this weekend? Any Halloween costumes?
Nah, I didn't make it out this weekend. I
No?
was sick during the week, so I just took it easy this year. Felt kind of lame, but is what it is.
Is what it is, man. You're on the IR for a little bit.
Yeah.
Injury, cold, and sinus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Upper body
exactly.
upper body injury. All right, well, I don't want to keep you for too long because I know you want to get going out of school pretty quick here, but we're gonna break down some of the past week of the NHL. A few trades went down for the Canucks. They got back on the winning mojo, and then the NFL trade deadline happened today. We're recording Tuesday night here. But let's just get right to the point here. Vancouver Canucks. They slay their dragons. Their moral dragons, that is, and they get back in the win column. They're on a 2-game heater right now, beating Seattle and Pittsburgh last week on a back-to-back. Seattle 5-4. I want to talk a little bit about that game. But overall, how do you guys think the Canucks played this past week?
For me, the Seattle game, I know I had low hopes going into that one. Called the 1 goal differential, but you called it, Jeff. You called the win for the Canucks, and then the Pittsburgh win was just cherry on top.
Yeah.
And they just spanked Pittsburgh, absolutely spanked them, which was you don't get to see Crosby get spanked like that a lot, so it was good to see.
Yeah, I had them beating Seattle too. They're not going to lose all year. They never lost to Seattle. Um, wasn't a great game though. They got outplayed pretty much the whole thing. And Pittsburgh one's nice, but they are this is who they are. They're not as bad as their own 7, and they're not as good as beating Pittsburgh 5-1.
Yeah.
They're going to be a fringe playoff team. Let's hope that, 2 points in the first 7 games isn't enough to keep them out of it.
No, 100%. Like later in the year when they are battling for that playoff spot, you're gonna look back and be like, where could they have gotten those extra 4 points that they need to have some comfort in that last wild card spot or whatever? And you're gonna look at their 3 straight games with a multi-goal lead. And it's gonna be like, yeah, if we just got a couple of those, we'd be a lot less anxious about our position right now. But like the Seattle game, Demko was very shaky that game. Yes, he got the win, but there was a few soft ones that he let in, hit his equipment, trickled in behind him, and it was like, buddy, like, yeah, you got the win, but man, some of those goals we'd like to avoid going forward. But we got the win. Mikheyev tucked twice, and the big players produced. So it was good to see. Petey scored. Mikheyev got there twice. Garland empty netter. JT Miller scored too. So it was really good to see. And then on the back-to-back, they beat Pittsburgh 5-1. Spencer Martin. He every game he's played, started for the Canucks, he's gotten a point. So that's a really good confidence booster. What are your guys' thoughts on Spencer Knight? And do you think he can be the long-term backup for Vancouver?
I don't see why not. He's looked great from last season into this year, Spencer Martin. I don't know why they haven't given him more starts this year. Like, obviously it's Demko's job, but he's been struggling. They're not winning. I think he should have had at least a couple more starts so far.
I 100% agree.
Isn't his goals against like what was it, like a 2.8 though, or like a 3.8? It was something pretty high, wasn't it?
Demko
I'm
or
pretty It's
Martin?
Martin.
Demko's is like 4.
I thought like when I saw Martin get a net for the Kraken game, I thought like I saw it was probably a 2.8 goals against average, but I thought it was like ridiculously high.
Well, it was probably what game was it? They lost in overtime.
I
Um,
can search it up right now.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he let in like 3 or 4 goals that game. So Like
I
he's
mean, when
still,
you've only played in 2 games, your stats are going to be skewed.
yeah.
Oh
And
So
yeah, he's only played 11 games in his career.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, and his goals against average is now a 2.55. So it
I
was a
mean,
2.88. Yeah.
goals
yeah,
against is more of a team stat anyway. Like, what can you do if you're gonna get peppered all day?
and
That's
also
fair.
I tend to more gravitate towards like the save percentage. Like if you're in like the low 900s to high 800s, then that's something to kind of worry about. But being in like 920 to 930 range is like a pretty good place to be. So that's kind of like if you let in 4 goals, but you have like 40 shots against, it's like it's understandable if a few of those squeak by. But that wasn't a problem for Pittsburgh because he got 34 saves, letting in one. Um, Kuzmenko has goals in back-to-back games. So it's good to see the big guys stepping up when they need to. But Canucks didn't just dabble in games. They made a few splashes, nothing massive, but the first they um lived up to Mikey DiPietro's trade request and sent him and prospect Jonathan Meyerberg, who was the 5th round pick in 2021, right shot defenseman, over to Boston for Jack Strudnicka, who was the 53rd overall pick back in 2017. Just 5 picks after Mikey DiPietro or prior, can't remember. But what are you guys' thoughts on the trade? Just a little depth move, nothing insane. Do you have anything to say on this?
You pretty much just got it. Yeah, pretty average depth piece. Living up, like you said, to DiPietro's trade requests, and honestly forgot DiPietro was it was even on the Canucks, or like even on their roster, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
disappointing hit with him. There's a lot of high hopes for him, and it obviously didn't pan out. And it doesn't look like he's going to become an NHL goalie. I hear that D-man, that Myronberg has some potential. So not sure about dishing him out. It's probably a nothing move completely, but if anything, the Canucks lost that trade for sure. Like,
yeah, I was a little hesitant on giving up the right shot defenseman as well when they are kind of like gold, but Alvin, he came out and said that he's like around 5 years away, which I mean, it's still kind of like something that would fit our timeline, but just it was
yeah, I
kind of,
mean,
I don't
he's
know.
probably
How
still
can
like a third pairing D-man, even if he
Yeah.
develops into that. I just watching Bruins fans' reaction to it, and they're just like they thought they were gonna just give that guy away for nothing. So like, oh, we got something for this bum. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Reading that, I'm like,
how
fuck.
how can anyone be so sure about such a long timetable for a player? Like
You can't
5 years
you can't
away?
be exactly. That's why it's probably a nothing move. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I don't know about that.
It's just the right shot defenseman aspect when it's like something that we're looking for to get better at.
Hmm.
But who knows? Yeah, it's probably not gonna live up to anything. But we did turn around and trade for a roster player, right shot defenseman. We gave up a 5th round pick in this upcoming draft for Ethan Bear and Lane Peterson. And Carolina is retaining $1,400,000 of Ethan Bear's salary. What are your guys' thoughts on this? I think this is not a terrible move. I think Ethan Bear is a good 5th, 6th defenseman. Maybe can even squeeze into the top 4. But I think he's a guy that could be playing with consistent minutes and just in a limited role. The more he plays, I feel like the more he's maybe willing to make mistakes. But in a limited role, I think he can be a really good defenseman for us. But what are your guys' thoughts on the Ethan Bear acquisition? Scotty,
I
I'll go to
mean,
you first.
yeah, I like it. I think everyone likes Ethan Bear. I don't know why teams have been giving him away for nothing for years now. Edmonton got rid of him for nothing. Carolina wouldn't even put them in their lineup. But I think he is a solid, bottom 4 defender. He's not going to fix this team by any means. But, you don't have 6 NHL caliber defensemen on that roster right now. So it's nice to get one, regardless if he's a
Yeah.
bottom pair guy or not. But there are some people that are way too excited about this. He's not going to come in and be, a 20-minute guy and change this defense. But he will be solid if they can put him in the right role. Their problem is they put the defensemen way above where they're supposed to be. So he could also be a whipping boy for this team too if they're going to rely on him too hard. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah. Bruce is gonna fucking put him PP1 and like taking over Hughes minutes and shit. Now it's just gonna be like Ethan Bears. Everyone's gonna
No,
hate
but I
him
like
now.
the guy a lot too,
Yeah.
especially the shit he went through in Edmonton and stuff. So should be solid.
Yeah. Hayden?
Yeah, I like having Bear as a solid roster piece. I think yeah, he would definitely won't tilt the team one way or the other, but I mean it'll be cool to see him play tonight, I'm pretty sure he's playing, right?
Yeah, I think he's set to make his debut in the new reverse retro jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually really excited for this game. I think it's gonna be a good game, but yeah, it'll be cool to see him out there.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. He's not going to really move the needle, but he kind of shores it up a little bit more. But we'll see how he
That
does.
Lane Peterson stinks though. I watched that guy play for the Sharks a bunch last year, and he was probably the worst player on the team. He sucks.
Yeah, he's going to go right to Abbotsford. I don't think we'll
Yeah,
ever see him
hopefully he
on the
doesn't
team.
get in the lineup.
Hopefully not. But I kind of just breezed over him. I was like, okay, I guess we got like another piece, but I'm more focused on Ethan Bear, like, because this defense needs any help, and I think Ethan Bear does that. But upcoming schedule, they're playing tonight, Tuesday versus the Devils, who are hot, red hot right now. Thursday versus the Ducks, Saturday versus the Predators, and Tuesday they're in Ottawa. I think we can come out of this 4-game stretch 500. I think I'd be happy with that. I wouldn't be surprised with 3-1. We tend to play decently well up to our opponents. So if the Devils are as hot as they are, tends to mean that they're playing good hockey right now, and I think the Canucks tend to be decent in those situations. Just look at Pittsburgh. Predators, we don't necessarily have a great history with them, so I'm kind of expecting a loss there, but I'm confident against Ottawa and Anaheim. So I think 500, 3-1, I'd be ecstatic with. Anything worse than that is very, very concerning. But we'll go to news around the NHL. The injury updates, but I'm not going to bore you with those. The Leafs, they are a massive talking point throughout the NHL this past week. They are currently 4-4-2. They went on a 1-2-2 road trip, blowing a 3-goal lead against Anaheim just recently in overtime. Should the Leafs press the panic button, Scott, I'll have you kick this one off.
No, I mean they're a good team. It's 10 games into the year. It's not like they lost the first 7 games of the year or something. Like the defense is worrisome, and who knows with the goaltending. I think Samsonov's been pretty good. But if there's anything to panic about, it's like the locker room with the reports you're hearing about Marner, and there might be a feud with Keefe. So the roster is fine. Like Tavares is even playing great. It's just early season, and teams are going to go through slumps. You don't think the best team in the league is going to have a 500 stretch over 10 games at some point? It's going to happen. They're just in the Toronto spotlight, and that's the only reason we're talking about this shit. It's annoying. Like their team's good. Like, okay, we lost a couple games in a month. Relax.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like, come on, it's 10 games out of 82. You know what I mean? Or it's not even worrisome to be not as high as they are, but they could be lower,
Yeah.
And if it starts to become or like if they keep playing like this double the amount of time, maybe it's kind of like, okay, what's wrong here, or what's the problem? If we get halfway into the season and they're still kind of just playing like this, then there's something wrong, but something needs to happen. Will that happen? Probably not. Obviously, goalie is like their biggest turnoff right now. I think we could all agree on that. So it's like, will they actually do something at the trade deadline? Oh, probably not, but they'll get it together. They have to get it together.
Yeah, I think goaltending isn't been as bad as I thought it might be. Samsonov's I think he's playing better than what his expectations were. I think their defense is kind of similar to Vancouver's, where it's just like really, really thin. But I mean, last year they started off worse than this and they finished with a franchise best 115 points or whatever. Like they had their best year regular season franchise history and they started off worse. So I'm not worried. There's reports on like questioning if Keefe will stay around. I think Dubas is pretty stubborn to um not necessarily make any moves halfway through the season when it comes to like m- coaching or whatever. So I think Keefe will stick it out. But do you think at some point they might dial Barry Trotz's phone number, give him a call?
Give him the old "What's up?"
Yeah, I've heard
Hey,
people
what
talk
you
about
doing?
that. It'd be cool actually to see him there. I saw something again today where he wants a job where maybe he can become a GM after too. So I don't know if I see that happening in Toronto because I think Dubas is at least safe for the year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That'd be interesting though. I don't
Yeah.
know. They do need more structure in the games. That's what a lot of people saying, and he would provide that. But I don't know if that roster is the type of roster that'll like support that in a way. Like these
Yeah.
guys want to fly high, they want to score goals. Defensive system might win for them, but you might get some pushback from it.
They're very like air raid as opposed to like
Yeah.
shoring up their defense for sure. And yeah, I think like everyone's offensive numbers would go down if Barry Trotz came in. But I mean, he took the Islanders to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, so and won a cup with Washington, obviously. So he's had the playoff success that Toronto desperately needs. So I think it could be an interesting move, and he's said that he's down to coach for an original six team. So Toronto's like the only one with a coach that's not necessarily secured right now. So it'll be interesting to see if they will pull the trigger on Barry Trotz. Move over to Canucks opponent tonight, New Jersey, winners of six of their last seven. Are they legit? Should people be taking this team serious, or is this just another kind of like whatever, they'll be mid within the next 20 games?
I feel like this is almost a New York Giants sort of outlook on the Devils, where it's like no one had like super high expectations for them, and they've come out their first, 10 games or however many they've played, like kind of firing, and it's like, okay, like what is this, Obviously with the Giants, you see a little bit the teams they've played, but I mean, the Devils could have got a couple bouncing pucks their way. I don't know. I think you just had to wait and see. It's way too early to tell in the year for any of this stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think they're legit. I really don't. I don't think they have the goaltending. I don't think they have enough experience in their forward group. I mean, if Jesper Bratt's a point and a half per game player all year, then yeah, I guess they are legit, but I don't think he is. They'll contend for a playoff spot though. It's looking like. I'm looking at some stats right now, and like even with all the wins, Blackwood's been terrible. Like,
Yeah, their goaltending has been very like hard to rely on, but it's no secret that they got a boost after their home opening boost, similar to Vancouver, except Vancouver didn't necessarily get a boost after that. But um, it seems to be working for New Jersey, and yeah, Bratt's been on a tear right now. I'm pretty sure he has like 15 points, which is like good enough for like almost fifth in the NHL, like around there. But I think they come back to earth. But I think this boost early on really helps their case to contend for a wild card spot, which Haydn, pretty sure you had him in the wild card spot um, in our preseason predictions. I'm pretty sure you had New Jersey in that second wild card spot. So if that take is correct, then shouts out to you. But New Jersey doesn't look too bad right now. Um, Scoring leaders, we got Connor McDavid leading in goals. And all the greats have at least one Rocket Richard, and Connor McDavid hasn't had one yet. Do we think that this could be the year that he wins the Rocket? He's sitting at first with 9 goals. What are your guys' thoughts on McDavid's steaming hot start this year? I mean, it's like basically similar to like all his fucking years in the NHL. He's been healthy, but like, what are your guys'
Yeah.
thoughts on his early boost in goals this year?
I mean, sure, he'll win one. He'll win two. He may even win three. He can win it any year he wants. It just depends on how he's going to play hockey. Like I've seen he's playing like in their big win streak here. He's played like a minute and a half with Draisaitl. So if he's not going to be on the ice with Draisaitl, he's going to be putting more pucks in the net. It all depends, like what he wants to do. Does he want to score 50 or does he want to put up 80 assists? He'll do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's such a good point. It's like he can, if he wants to score, he'll just go down and he'll just go down and score because this is a really deceiving shot too. Like he can, it's very underrated. He can snap one by. So I honestly think that he will be within the top 3 goal leaders this year, and I don't think that's a hot take at all. Like I think he'll contend for number 1.
I'll tell you who really likes it. It's my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Like the fact that in 2 or 3 weeks, 2 out of 3 weeks, he's gotten a hat trick and like each of those, it's like, whew, man, that was a nice surprise to wake up to.
It's not even
No,
like it's not even like a surprise anymore with this guy. It's just like, okay, 4 points. All right.
yeah, but it's like the projected points. Obviously, everyone's gonna have a dud of a game, but then when he comes out firing and literally gets me like 80 points in a week, I'm like, okay, this is nice. I like this.
Yeah, it's very nice. I'll take
So
it.
this is what it was like taking Christian McCaffrey for like 2 or 3 years.
Christian
Yeah,
McCaffrey was a
I'm
fucking
way more
freak, though.
surprised if he doesn't get a point than if he gets a hat trick for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, when he's
honestly.
held off the score sheet, I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
Or,
that is impressive.
or even if it's like a 7-1 win for Edmonton and he only has 1, I think that's when it's just like, oh, wow, so Edmonton's depth actually showed up today. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll look and Draisaitl has fucking 5 points and it's just like, oh, never mind, he carried. Okay. He put all the weight on his back. But speaking of absolutely on fire, Tage Thompson. And also fantasy teams too, because Tage Thompson has 9 points in his last 2 games. He's just coming off a 6-point night against Detroit. 3 goals, 3 assists. And I played him in fantasy. I'm playing him in fantasy. First day of the week, and he has our super inflated point system, Scott. He has like 48.5 points. He had like 9 shots on goal, +3, a couple power play points, 3 goals, 3 assists. It's like, okay, buddy, stop.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I asked my friend, I was like, hey, Zach, do you mind telling your boy Tage to slow down? And then after that, he got like 2 more points. And I'm like, okay, never mind then, I guess.
I'm also in a super inflated points one this year. I've always done just like 1 for a goal, 1 for an assist, but they're like 6 and 4 in this league I'm in this year. And
yeah, that's what we do.
And I was -4 after like yesterday's game. So if I was facing Thompson, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I look at right when the night started, I was like, okay, I have 3 guys playing tonight. He has Tage. I was like, all right, whatever. I look later and I'm losing 48.5 to fucking 9. And I'm like, excuse me? And it's like Thompson just absolutely went off. And I'm like, okay. All right, this is nice. And then in me and Hayden's league, I'm playing my girlfriend and she forgot to set her lineup and she has Tage Thompson on her bench.
Oh,
So I was like, thank the fucking Lord, because I'm still losing to her anyways. Because I have Kairu, and that guy hasn't done shit.
Yeah, that's who got me -4 yesterday in my league.
Yeah. But it's like he was point per game last year, and I don't want to drop him. But to get to my point, Tage Thompson is on his absolute tear. Buffalo has been playing great hockey this year. Rasmus Dahlin's also been playing well, leading defenseman in points.
Whoa, not quite. Oh, he just passed him yesterday, I guess. Damn it. It's Erik Karlsson
No.
up until yesterday.
I was gonna bring up your boy in a bit, but no, like, can Buffalo sustain this early season, I guess, success, if you want to call it that? But they've just been playing pretty steady hockey, and like Thompson at least these last few nights has been playing up to his contract extension. But what are your thoughts on Buffalo so far?
I thought they'd be closer to the one pick than a playoff spot before the season, so I don't even know what to think. Honestly, like if Dahlin's this good, if Thompson, is three-quarters of what he was last year, maybe they are good. Maybe they are there. I thought Detroit and Ottawa were going to be the closer teams coming up from the basement, but I mean, they look good. They have names all over the roster right now. They might be good. I don't know.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, it's
definitely a super weird team, but hey, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's definitely weird like to hear just because Buffalo was so shit last year, and then it's like they traded Eichel, and now they're good. It's like, how does that math does not compute for this one, you know?
Math
I
isn't
don't
mathing.
Math is not mathing. How is this happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like they'll come back down to earth. Surely, they I want to say they're not good. This is kind of what I'm saying with New Jersey, but it's like I don't know. It's too early in the season to make a judgment, and I could totally be slapped in the face, or I could be uh pleasantly humbled, or I could be right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I definitely think Buffalo's like earned the all right, I think we got to respect them a bit more because fools like me going to the home opener, Vancouver's home opener, I was still like living in the past. And I was like, "Oh, Buffalo, easy dub. Going to start the home year off like on a good note." And then we get spanked 5-1, outplayed all game, and it was just a terrible experience. But I think Buffalo now, it's just everyone's kind of not breaking out, but they're getting a lot more comfortable at the NHL level. Like, we got to remember Dahlin coming into the year as first overall pick. He was like 18 his first year. And defenseman at the age of 18, that's not an easy thing to do. They usually take a couple years to develop at least, right? So Dahlin had all this pressure on him. And now I think everyone's accepted that he's kind of mid, and now he's taken that and he's like, no, like I'm not, now that the pressure's kind of cooled off a bit, I can now, you know, dance a little bit more. And I think he's really starting to come out of his cage and he's doing just fine. Right.
Hmm.
So I think Buffalo's deserved they're starting to earn that respect now. And I think they're gonna be solid now. They won't make the playoffs every year, but I think they're gonna start competing a bit more for playoff spots as opposed to lottery picks going forward. I still am not too confident on their goaltending situation, but I think their skaters as a whole is developing at a pretty steady rate. But we'll see. There's obviously a lot of hockey
Their
left to
goalies
play.
have been good too, but the question is if Levi can come in and be a legit one for them. That's going to be their hope going forward. They have prospects everywhere, though. I honestly think they'll be the best team in the league within a few years, and I think they'll be a perennial contender. It might win more than a cup too. Like they're
Wow.
scary, scary prospect system. They remind me of the Houston Astros minus the cheating scandal. Forget about that. They bottomed the hell out. They were so bad, and now they've been to 6 consecutive ALCS or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
it's something dumb.
they bottomed out so bad and got really, really fucking good. And I think Buffalo's going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good point with Devin Levi. I do think they need to even like pick up someone else's garbage, like hopefully find a diamond in the rough, a rose grown from concrete kind of situation from other teams. Maybe get a younger goalie who a team's given up on for a low pick, and then they can maybe develop a bit better, something like that, or just draft fucking 5 goalies every single draft you're hoping one of them hits, kind of thing. But I definitely like the pace that Buffalo's on right now. I think they're in a position now where it's like their fans are okay. Just give us some excitement, even if we're bad. But I
Yeah,
think,
they're being a fan of that team would be fun as hell right now. Even
yeah,
if they are bad, the names, like all the young names there, just watch those guys play. That's fun.
yeah. But we'll go over to your boy. Eric Carlson, because Buddy is turning back the clock. He is turning back the clock. People are starting to call him Norris again. He's looking handsome as ever with that fucking haircut of his, and he's just putting up points. Norris level play. Do you think he can, in the end, with how bad San Jose is, or even just like, yeah, just how bad San Jose is and where they're at as a roster, can Eric Carlson put up a Norris level season? Scotty.
Absolutely, he can put up a Norris level season. Can he win it? I highly doubt that. Like, voting comes in today. He's second in those votes to Dahlin, and there's no question about that. McCarr's still the best. Dahlin's the current front runner, but he's not going to win shit being on a 30-win team. Like, it's just not going to happen. The defensive metrics won't be there. People will call that shit out, even if he puts up 80 points. And that's not even like that insane anymore. Like, McCarr's going to be doing that every year for the next 10. But it's a Norris level, sure. You compare what he does this year or what he's done on pace to do over the last 20 winners. He probably wins it a handful of times for sure. And he looks really good. He's the only reason to watch that team right now. There's other players that are fun and exciting, but none of them are doing shit. He's the only one that's been fun to watch. Couture has been okay. Hurdle's been shit. Meyer's been even worse. Like, those are good players, but they're not doing anything. And he's making that team like fun to watch stuff. And he's scoring nice goals too. They're not off defenders' legs. He's wiring shots top corner. He's carrying the puck around. It's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch. And depending on if they want to hold on to some cap, like, might be worth it for a team to pick him up at the deadline.
Yeah, if he's keeping this up, like a contender, if any, like Florida, Ekblad's on LTIR. If he goes down for a long term and has any setbacks in his rehab, you think maybe Florida might call him up and be like, hey, if you retain half his salary, well, or I guess I don't know half his salary because Carlson's got
the way I see a trade happening there is it's got to be for a bad contract back.
Yeah,
that's how it's got to be. Like, we can't just eat $5 fucking million for several years. Like, that's stupid. Yeah. But if a team like Dallas wants to move a Jamie Benn, if a team like the Canucks wants to move an OEL and get an upgrade, those are the ways. Those are the ways to move him. But he's going to control where he goes. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm saying, he's making that team fun for me to watch. But I want him gone because he looks really good and he deserves to be playing some meaningful hockey. He's barely got to do it in his entire career. He got one conference final run with us and he got one with Ottawa, but it's just sad to watch him lead the team in every single aspect, every game, and get nothing for it. No, he's an all-time NHL great. Doesn't deserve to fizzle out like this.
What do you think happens with the rest of the roster? For the rest of the season, because they came out and said that everyone's available for trade except Hurdle. So what do you think happens with
Friedman or someone said that? They haven't said shit about that. I believe that any bad team's gonna that's just like the most bland statement I've ever heard. Of course they're gonna be willing to trade players. Yeah, I don't think they're shopping them though.
I think they said they're listening to trades. I think that's what it
I didn't see anything from the organization though. I just heard it was reported that they're listening. No one's really GM never came out and said that publicly or anything.
It's not often that happens though. A lot of it's like insider reporting on teams. It's not common for GMs to come out and say, "Hey, yeah, we're listening to trades," because that would just kind of ruin morale. It's more like insiders that say
I just think that's a given. Of course they're listening to trades. If a bad team's not listening to trades, what the fuck are you even doing? But I think that Timo Meier probably goes at some point. He's a UFA this summer. Is he? No, he's an RFA, but he's in the last year of his deal here.
Oh, is that on me?
Yeah, there's be some pretty decent moves. I think Jeff froze. Oh, but he's back now.
Yeah, you guys froze on my end. I was like, oh shit, is that? I saw Scott freeze, and then I was like about to ask Kate, and I was like, oh, Scott's gone. And then I saw that you were frozen. I was like, oh, it's just me. All right, cool.
Well, hopefully you got everything Scott basically just said, or else it's kind of fucking lost in thin air there. But
I think I came back and you were talking, so I don't know how much of Scott's I missed, but
I was mostly just saying I think Timo Meier goes. at some point this season.
Yeah. I think you cut out when you're talking about Meyer being on the last year of his deal.
Yeah, so he's gonna go somewhere, I think, because he's the player they can get the most for. We got some young up and coming wingers, and Bordelot, Eklund, depending where they want to play them. Sucks to lose like a 26-year-old piece, but might be able to get a decent pick and a decent prospect for him. So the window is not going to be open, for another 5 years anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. Haydn, did you chime in on any of this? I kind of missed like whatever you said because of me being frozen.
No,
But
I was basically almost just in my head. I was just kind of agreeing with everything, especially about the take where it's like if you're a bad team and you're not listening to offers about certain people,
you're doing it
especially
wrong.
yeah, and people you can sell high on, like Carlson. He has had down years, and now he's actually kind of playing back to what he was. It's like he is making San Jose fun, and it's not just the reverse retro jerseys that are fun. So
Those all teal jerseys they're pretty nice. I like them.
Dude, I like them too. They get some hate for being too teal, but the whites are the better ones. The whites look damn good with the teal pants.
I love San Jose jerseys.
I was
Always
down
have.
on them, but now I'm back on the wagon for them. I saw them in person and I was like, hey, no, these are gas. I fuck with these a lot.
Yeah,
But
they're sick.
let's keep this moving here. Is there a goalie controversy in Edmonton here? Stuart Skinner leads the league in save percentage. He has a 9.55. He's playing out of his mind right now, and Jack Campbell just hasn't lived up to his $5 million contract. Still not completely counting him out because he's shown that he can play at a high level. But is there a goalie controversy in Edmonton right now? The floor is open.
I personally don't think there's goalie controversy. Skinner, yeah, he's been playing pretty lights out, but here actually I had this. Hold on. I had this
If they're going
right.
based off mustache, Skinner's won that job by a mile.
Oh, that's a
His
landslide.
mustache, it's incredible.
Here, hold on. Wasn't it? Oh no, he wasn't in this one. Okay, never mind. My points just messed up. He did take down the Flames though, which is very, very impressive. Only giving up 2 goals and saving 42 shots. But oh no, that was Campbell too. Fuck. You know what? Maybe there is controversy. Fuck me. I thought the 2 games that he played was the 0-2 Blues and the Blackhawks. We let in so many, but it wasn't. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and then Campbell obviously played with the Penguins. But fuck, man. No, Skinner is good, and Campbell is good too. Maybe they're looking at like a 2A, 2B sort of situation, is how I'd kind of view it. But I don't know. You gave Campbell all this money. You probably got to let him play a little bit. And if a night just gets bad, then you might have a chance with throwing Skinner in there and then being like, oh, maybe if we score a couple, we can get it back. But who knows?
Yeah.
They're not in a position to wait around on that though. Like their team's good enough. If Campbell struggles and Stuart Skinner keeps doing it, you got to play him. It's not like this is a Demko Martin situation where they've developed Demko. He's going to be the goalie of the future. Like Campbell hasn't proven shit there. He's never done anything for that team ever. So if it's going to hinder them on making the playoffs or winning a cup, you have to put Skinner in.
Yeah,
that's true. But okay, this is one though. I know Buffalo at a time is running hot, but he did lose to Buffalo.
But like, I do agree with Scott that he's at this point when you're contending like Edmonton, and you don't want to waste any more of like McDavid and Draisaitl. You just got to ride the hot hand and put yourself in the best position standings wise to, I don't know, just even help yourself ride hot into the playoffs. Like whatever's gonna help you do that. If Skinner has an off night, then you shouldn't have a problem going to Campbell. Now it's like this is a good position you want to be in because Campbell's capabilities of being a decent goalie. So it's like you shouldn't have to worry about putting him in. And now you have like a really good backup that you can go to at all times. So I think this is a good position to be in, but ride the hot hand. I'm kind of with Scott on that. Uh, Coyotes debuted the Mullet Arena, the 5,000 seat stadium. Have you guys seen the dressing rooms?
Dressing rooms or what we would call the oh my god, what is it called? Ball hockey special, you know?
Yeah, those are for the visitors, but I honestly think I'd rather dress in the visitor dressing room than the fucking home one. Did you see the home
I
dressing
haven't
rooms?
seen the home. I thought that was all of
It
them.
it looks like a fucking dressing room in Port Moody Rec. That's
What
like
what
half
was
a
this? What was
it's
this one called?
it's literally just in the arena itself, and it looks like super run down, super tight. It's search up Mullet Arena or Arizona Coyotes home
Oh
dressing room.
yeah, as soon as I search up MUL, it says Mullet Arena.
It looks terrible, but Scott, did you check
Yeah,
out
it's
these dressing
trash.
rooms?
It's no
It's
good, but I mean, does that team really deserve a better room? Let them earn it first.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
no, it's just tough, and it's like they're going up on a like very long road trip, so they're the road trip is used to build the dressing rooms for the arena at ASU, but I just thought those are hilarious. And
My
uh la-
God.
last question here. What are your guys' thoughts on the digital boards?
I haven't thought about it too much. Everyone's been blowing that shit up all year about how, how much it sucks. It doesn't seem to have affected the players at all, maybe annoying to our eye a bit. I really don't even have a thought on it. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. And if we're seeing players like miss pucks on boards and hearing players bitch about how that screwed them up on a play, then we got a serious issue here. Other than that, I really don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of unpleasing to the eye, especially when like I saw actually, I think I was watching an Edmonton game and literally I can't remember if it was an Edmonton player or someone who they're going up against, but the board glitched out and the player literally just wasn't there. And I saw the stick just moving the puck. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right
Yeah.
now? And then I realized I'm like, oh yeah, these fucking boards.
I thought it was my TV at first, but
Yeah, like man, I
yeah.
get it. Like you need to make money for ads and stuff like that. Come on, man. This is garbage, Sportsnet. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them just because they're kind of distracting. Like there's a car driving by, like he was running the point on the PP and stuff like that, and there's a puck battle, and there's just a car that comes out from the skirmish and everything, and I'm just like, it throws me off a little bit, but I understand with like ad revenue and stuff like that, you can fit more ads on like a slideshow and stuff like that, and
Exactly.
makes a
And
bit
you
more
can
sense, but I don't think they bring it back next year. I think this is like kind of like a 1 year test it out, see how it is, and then I think they're gonna gas it next year. But I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I
we'll
got for
see.
hockey. Lots of hockey to play. Exciting week up ahead. But Hayden, I'll toss it to you for some NFL news and some scores and
Beauty.
everything like that.
Beauty. All right. Um, quickly before the NFL, CFL regular season is done. Playoffs are set. Like we already knew, the Lions will be hosting the Stampeders this Sunday. Bought my tickets, guys. I'm ready to go and have a fucking time and a half.
Nice.
Drinking starts early.
I would have went if it was Saturday.
Oh yeah, you're not doing any? Are you doing something on Sunday?
I'm just too NFL, too in love with the NFL. I'm not missing a day of NFL
See,
football.
that's the thing. I have my phone. I got DAZN. When it's halftime, I just put on the fucking phone. You know.
Yeah, fair, fair. I feel like a bad Canadian for thinking that, but
See, I would too, but at the same time, I got fantasy teams. You know, people got to realize I'm more than just a CFL and NFL kind of guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can go both
No,
ways.
that's
It's
exciting though, man.
2022.
Nathan Rourke got me more excited about CFL than I've been in 15 years.
And that's what's putting ass in seats. Like they've already sold out the lower bowl.
Yeah, that's
Like
cool
they've
as hell.
opened up the first 16 rows of the upper bowl on either side, but not end zones. Like people are actually, and hopefully this carries over into next year because man, oh man, that stadium sits like 60,000 and they're only getting in like an average, I think, of like 14,000.
Yeah,
like per game. Like it's terrible.
yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
I don't know. Rourke might be fucking needed in Indy. Fucking next year.
Honestly,
Dude, if he didn't break that foot, he goes to camp somewhere for sure. Probably gets cut,
he's
but he goes to
still
camp.
going. He's still gonna get an NFL tryout. Like the team is all BC has already said Vernon Adams is more likely to start next year for the Lions than Rourke, just because of NFL opportunities. But man, if Rourke goes, BC could sell his contract for like a premium because the chances of a CFL player making it to the NFL
Well,
probably
never
not going
mind
to
that,
happen.
even a friggin' Canadian quarterback, actual
Yeah.
Canadian like that. There's been like a couple in NFL history, like maybe one or two that have done like absolutely nothing ever. There's guys in the CFL that have been damn good, like Warren Moon and Jeff Garcia, like legit. Or
Flutie.
yeah, Flutie, but not Canadians, not actual Canadian players. So that's
Yeah.
cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely is just seeing obviously for the CFL rosters, it makes it so much better when you have a Canadian quarterback because you need to have a certain ratio
Yeah.
of Canadian to American. So having a great quarterback that's Canadian is pretty good.
Yeah.
Makes
Not
it a lot
complaining.
easier. No,
Not
not
complaining.
complaining whatsoever. And I'm looking at great Canadian NFL quarterbacks, and let me tell you, this is not a long list.
There shouldn't be a list that starts with great.
No, fuck.
It's a list.
Ooh.
I think there's only like a couple that I've ever played.
It's a couple
Hold
bullet
on.
points.
Mark Ripien.
Okay, yeah, he's a Washington dude.
Yeah, he played 14
I
seasons
thought
in
he
the
was
NFL. He played at Washington State and was drafted by the Redskins in the 6th round of the 86 NFL draft. He was the first Canadian-born quarterback to both start in the NFL and be named Super Bowl MVP doing so.
So
Sheesh.
again, though, I don't think and I don't know Rourke's story, but I don't think he like grew up in Canada, and like that's fine. Like there's a bunch of those, right? Like
He
Nikhil,
was born in Victoria.
Thought he was like north of No, I'm thinking of Bedard. There's
like
someone else.
like Nikhil Harry's a Canadian NFL player. He lived here for like 3 years. And same thing with like Jevon Holland. Like it's cool and we'll take it, but to me that doesn't really count unless like Chuba Hubbard played all his high school football in Sherwood Park, which is insane
Yeah.
before going to
Chase
NCAA.
Chase
And
Claypool too.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
most of these dudes, even basketball players, leave by like high school, which I think still counts because they were
Oh,
developed
definitely
here.
counts.
But the ones that are only here for like 2
I,
years and then go to the States, like I really don't count those ones. And I don't know Ripien's full story, but those ones I don't really count personally.
I think Rourke was like a high school situation. Like you probably saw like better
And
high
that's
school.
fine. You need to go play in these like prep schools and get yourself noticed and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
He was born in Victoria, grew up in Oakville. He played minor football for the Burlington Stampeders before playing for 3 years at Holy Trinity Catholic Secondary School in Oakville, Ontario. He transferred to Edgewood Academy in Elmore, Alabama for his senior season of high school football.
yeah, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So I'd still give him the whole Canadian.
That one for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like too, because SFU is the only NCAA school that plays in Canada that plays American. So I feel like if he stayed in BC, probably could have gone to SFU. Probably wouldn't have had a better shot. So it's cool to see that he went to Ohio, was drafted by his home province in the 2019 or 2020 draft. But yeah, no, like I was saying, he's putting ass in seats. He's making people of BC and Vancouver excited.
He would have been unanimous MOP this year if he didn't get hurt.
Unanimous
on that
MOP.
pace, yeah.
Yeah. Like I was telling this, I don't know if you heard the stat, Scott, or listened, but like it was only like a handful of weeks ago where the people who were chasing Rourke for passing touchdowns and passing yards only beat him probably like 4 or 5 weeks after he was injured.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, absolutely crazy, breaking records left and right, and he's actually up for Canadian of the Year, which I think he should win it unanimously because he's just insane. Absolutely insane.
I'm
When
looking at
it,
Ripien left Canada when he was 3, so Rourke's
yeah,
already a better Canadian quarterback than him, in my opinion.
yeah,
There we go.
I agree. I agree as well. But like in terms of like pound for pound, like I think Rourke has just been unbelievable. Like, yeah, CFL isn't the best, but in terms of being the best at what you're doing right now, like the level of play that you're at,
He
Rourke's
was that.
just been unbelievable.
Oh
So
yeah. It was like it's almost like it was Cam Wake,
yeah.
or just kind
Yeah.
of has that maybe same. Oh, Jeff's gone.
No, I'm still here. It's just
Camera.
my camera likes to have a mind of its own.
Fair enough. But yeah, it
But
just kind of has that maybe trajectory where it's like maybe he spends 1 or 2 seasons in the CFL, starts turning some heads at some NFL camps, and then says, "Hey, come in." And then
yeah.
next thing you know, he's putting up like decent numbers.
We're watching
So
two XFL QBs got wins this week.
yeah,
So
yeah. And with that, you know
or in the
what?
last couple of weeks.
CFL talk done. Let's move into the NFL because yeah, like Scott was saying, 2 XFL QBs.
Say X one more time, I dare.
They
X Jesus Christ.
they didn't get the win though because they blew
Should
that
have
OT.
got the win. Absolute below. But you know what?
DJ Moore
Let's
sold.
let's get into this. Tom Brady divorced.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't like. Could you imagine playing a game and then the next day getting a divorce?
And then losing again after.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
oh
he's
my
down.
god.
He's down for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just L City for Tom Brady right now. I know the score says 27-22, but the Ravens for like the last quarter and a half had a pretty good chokehold on the Bucks. The Bucks running game looks like ass. Brady can't hit anyone. Mike Evans can't catch a ball. Like something's off, and I just don't get it. I
Todd
was
Bowles, man.
yeah, but like uh, I really related this to Dennis Allen and Todd Bowles. They're great at being a coordinator, but when they're put in at like head coach, like what changes?
It's
And
weird, man. Like honestly, I don't think just having a different guy at the helm, like because Arians is still involved. I really don't
Oh,
think that is the reason. But Todd Bowles was so bad in New York, and now this team sucks. Like it's hard not to just be like, from an outside perspective, be like it's his fault.
yeah, you're
yeah,
putting two together now at this point. But it's
yeah,
like I
and
feel like a lot of Tampa Bay's like deficiencies is going way more than just like coaching and schemes. It's just like Brady is missing a lot of throws.
mhm,
Some guys just aren't
Evans
like
looks completely broken,
yeah,
man. I don't
like
know what's
yeah,
his deal.
Evans dropped like such
the
an out of
easiest touchdown.
character drop. Like you never see him do this shit, and it was just like clear he could have like crawled on his hands to the end zone.
He
Like
had over 10 yards of separation on that one route that he ran against the
yeah.
Steelers.
And like
Like,
it was a perfectly placed ball. It was just nothing more than Evans getting ahead of himself, taking his eye off the ball and not making the catch. So like
yeah, which is
it's just
completely
like
unlike him.
nothing's firing right now for Tampa, and it's hard to say anything about the O line because we knew it was a problem going into the season. So
Hmm.
you can't really say shit about it now. So
Yep.
I think it's just
But even the
uh
defense too, like
yeah.
Devin White has missed already. I think he's missed a career high in tackles already, and we're not even through halfway, or I guess we are halfway through the season now.
And
But
now
it's like,
Jarrett's out too.
yeah, and Shaq Barrett is out. Their secondary is kind of looking like on the verge of brink of death. Like Richard Sherman, have you been called yet? I know you're on the panel for Thursday Night Football, but man, put on some cleats and some pads. Let's get you in there,
Yeah, no kidding.
which is absolutely shocking. But yeah, absolute. It wasn't a stinker of a Thursday night. 49 points, but the first half was pretty fucking bad. 10-3. I think it ended as at the half. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ravens played like shit, but then they woke up.
Yeah, and then
So
Kenyon Drake decided to be like, "Yeah, this is my backfield now."
Yeah.
And then we have London. Man, the Jags, man. Travis Etienne, awesome to see that you're like a surefire. You were the best selection 2 years ago in the first round for the Jags.
Yeah, man, that whole quarterback class is not looking great right now.
No. Did you see the interception he threw, Jeff, to Justin Simmons?
No, I didn't catch many highlights of the London game. Was it pretty bad?
Dude, like Lawrence was looking straight into the end zone. He was like, it was running off to the right. It was just a clear play design, run off to the right. If nothing's there, don't throw it. Don't force anything. I don't know who he saw in the back of the end zone, but he didn't see Justin Simmons about 5 yards in front of him and just was like, you know what? I don't see Simmons. I'm going to throw it to my guy. And Simmons was like, yeah, I'm actually here.
Yeah.
And just intercepted the ball. And I was like, you're at like the 2-yard line. Why aren't you guys running it? And I don't know, man. Broncos, you could even see the reporters are getting so cringed out about Russell Wilson now saying, let's ride. It's just embarrassing.
Oh man, that woman's reporter's like that. Her face was fucking laugh out loud funny. She was like, "Oh my god, we got so close to not hearing it."
Fuck up.
She's like trying to pull the mic away, and you just hear it in the distance.
That's rad.
Fuck. She just says it so quick.
Scott, how do you feel about the Broncos, man? I know when we were
There's
talking...
not a team I'd less want to be a fan of in all pro sports. You want to be a Broncos fan would be the worst possible fucking thing in all sports fandom right now.
Dude,
they
it's
have
like...
no draft picks. Their quarterback's probably a serial killer. Like he's the weirdest guy in the world, and he sucks. I watch football with a guy every week who's a Broncos fan, and he was so excited for this year. And they are so bad, and Russ is just the weirdest fucking guy in the world. Like
so weird, man.
Like the only thing worse than being a Broncos fan would be being Russell Wilson's teammate. Like,
that meme of Melvin Gordon looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? No, I just
Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, they're just when Russ missed that wide open slant against Indy, I think it was
for the
and
touchdown.
KJ Hamler was slamming his helmet in the end zone, and then Jerry Judy's going off on him on the sidelines as well, and that Melvin Gordon meme as well. So funny. And then Russ is saying he was doing high knees in the middle of a flight.
Yeah, calisthenics on the flight, man. When everyone's sleeping, go to bed, you fuck.
And they got Nathaniel Hackett too, who's like the worst coach since Urban Meyer. I know that's only a year ago, but fuck, they both look terrible.
Dude,
Jesus,
he looks so bad.
I think the only one that separates them is that I don't think Hackett stuck his finger down a girl's BH yet, but and he hasn't kicked any of his players. I think that's the only two things separating them as coaches, because they haven't done shit.
I feel like I'd want. No, I can't say I'd want Urban Meyer more than Hackett, but like at least Meyer had some balls. Like I feel like Hackett just doesn't have any balls at all.
It's just an experiment that just backfired a lot.
Absolutely.
And I heard this good point, Hayden. I brought it up last week. Like, they hired Hackett hoping to get Rodgers, and they didn't get Rodgers, so then they got Wilson. I think it was more of a let's just get Hackett to try and entice Rodgers to come here, and maybe that just enticed Rodgers to stay in Green Bay more. Looking at this performance,
yeah, it's a pretty big fucking tragedy.
Yeah,
all around. We're going down the list. I'll rattle off some of the stinker games. Commanders beat the Colts on a last second play, basically.
That Terry McLaurin Moss was fire.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
Those teams both are just so shitty. Like they're so boring. There's nothing exciting about them except for that drive, really.
Nothing. Yeah. Literally up until that drive, nothing was enticing about that game at all.
The Colts and Broncos are the biggest letdowns in the entire season. I thought
100%.
I thought Broncos were the bottom of that division, mostly because the division's good, but I didn't think they'd be this bad to watch. And the Colts I thought were good, like legitimately good. So
yeah. Sam.
Yeah, I remember our preseason predictions. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I was looking at it. I only got 3 division winners right now. I don't think any of us have one in the NFC. They're all like
I have
completely off.
Minnesota. I have
Okay,
Minnesota. Let's
okay. I
go.
had them second, and
Yeah, and then I said the Eagles. I said the
you had
Eagles
them
too.
winning it. Damn,
Yeah,
okay. I had them. Well, at least I had them both as playoff teams. So,
very
but
true.
yeah, the Rams make us look dumb.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, dude.
I want to see what I'm.
Search it
Okay,
out.
I turned
I'll
my.
keep talking. But
Yeah,
AFC
you keep
South
talking.
Titans. Fun stat. I think this is Derrick Henry's 5th time in a row he's rushed for over 200 yards against the Texans. That is insane.
It's
I
4
In
in a
5
row for
games, he
sure.
has 1,000 yards.
Yo, I saw a thing over an 18 or 17-week season of playing the Texans every game. He would have 3,800 rushing yards and 38 touchdowns.
Dude, he's absolutely insane, man.
I
So-
saw a guy online on the weekend, $10 parlay, won 25 grand. And he had Kamara 2 touchdowns, AJ Brown 2 touchdowns, Jalen Waddle 2 touchdowns, and Derrick Henry 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
So the first 3 had already cashed, and he could have pulled out 3 grand to wait on without Derrick Henry doing
I
anything.
would have let it ride with Derrick
Let it
Henry.
ride 25 G's off $10.
That's the one I wish for every single fucking week, but it never hits. God damn it.
Imagine sweating that one out though, watching that game. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I think Scott here has
don't talk about the Raiders.
no,
Yeah.
I think you have 3 or 4 division winners. I can't remember some of the standings, but you have
I think I got 3. I got 3 in the AFC other than the
okay,
Colts.
then you definitely have 4 then.
Like
Hayden,
Cowboys,
you got the
and
Bills,
Packers,
Ravens.
Rams. No, I got 3 because I had Cowboys, Rams, Packers, and Bucks.
Yeah, you're 0 for 4 on the NFC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So,
then,
yeah,
then,
you
I,
have
then,
I
I
think you
had,
have 3 then, yeah.
and then I had Colts, but Bucks probably still win that one.
Probably.
So we'll go 4 for 8. Maybe there's an outside chance for the Packers still
Dallas.
too. So we'll see what's up there. But Green Bay doesn't look like they're coming back.
No.
But
Yeah. Oh fuck that. And like I love these conversations just of how random this shit is. Seahawks. Trump the Giants. Man, Danny Dimes' worst game easily, and it was against the easiest defense.
On 2 of my fantasy teams.
Like I don't get it. And Geno Smith, man. Geno Smith is cooking.
Yo, top 3 MVP right now. I'll say it right now. Seahawks aren't shit without that guy, and he's just playing.
It's Allen, Mahomes, and Geno.
He's tucking away that letter that they wrote off on him. You know, he ain't right back yet.
I'm ready for it to blow up in their face, but at the same time,
It's
the
the
highest
Stuart Skinner Edmonton Oilers thing. Just ride the hot hand, baby. Just
ride
don't.
it, yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks right now are the Buffalo Sabres. They're just having the most fun right now. Like
They are.
you hear Ian every single
And you
week
got
in
some
our
fun prospects.
yeah,
They got
look
picks
forward to.
too. They
You
got
gotta
the Colts or the Broncos picks.
picks galore, and it's just a fun week every week. It's just like,
Yeah.
man, like because if you lose, people are like, all right, we kind of expected this, but if you win, it's like, let's go.
But even if
And
they lose at like scoring almost 30 plus points a game.
yeah,
Like it's insane.
yeah, they're putting up
Yeah.
points right now. So
Yeah, it's awesome to see.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm on board. I've always hated the Seahawks just because their fans have been loud for a decade and I have to hear it a lot. But I'm fully on board with them. Like they're fun as hell watching Geno succeed. Nobody saw this coming. It's cool stuff.
yeah, I fucking
Yeah.
hated the Seahawks
I picked them to
too.
win 3 games this year. 3. I got 5 halfway.
I was the optimist towards Ian. I was saying I think those Seahawks could win 5 games. And it
Could
was
win
it's pretty
5.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You threw optimist in the same sentence.
Hey, who's closer to 5? I'd feel a lot more confident they're gonna get 5 wins than 3. Okay, that's just me.
Yeah, and like if we see them win 6 games all year though too, are we going to be surprised? Probably not.
Probably
But
not.
they're looking good. Like they do it every week, every single week. So
Yeah, and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf have fully ridden off the Russell Wilson train and said, yeah, okay, Geno, let's go.
Did you see that pretty sick DK Metcalf like fake fade on
Oh,
the Kenneth
fake
Walker run?
fade. That
That was
was
really
so sick.
that was a high IQ play as well.
That
Like
was
Seahawks are
nasty.
just they're running on a high right now and they have no plans on stopping.
They are. The Dolphins almost lost to the Lions, but then they just decided to play football again.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Waddle and Tyreek Hill are. I saw like what they would be compared to is like a candy, and it was like a Twix bar, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much the same, and they're both great.
Tyreek Hill's gonna have the most absurd season. He's gonna have like 1,900 receiving yards and like 2 touchdowns. It's like
literally gonna, but he's still gonna be so fantasy relevant every game too.
Oh, he is. He's in my points per first down team, and he's unreal.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he didn't score a touchdown. Oh, he still got me 23 points.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah, they look good. They made good moves today too. So
they did. Yeah. Fuck. If we speed through, I'll definitely try and get through the trades, obviously, because that's a big part. Falcons don't falcon it. The Panthers falconed it. I love that tweet from PFT, Jeff. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like top 2 teams at being the Falcons. Number 1 Panthers, number 2 Falcons. Oh man. All I can say is Eddie Pinheiro, you had 2 chances to win this game. No one should be blaming it on DJ Moore. The guy is the fucking biggest set of nuts on him.
But also like he fucking sold too. Like he knows that you can't take off your helmet and 10 yards is 10. People are even saying
it shouldn't even
I don't care. I don't care because he got a second chance. That was even closer.
That's what I'm like getting at too.
Yeah, but also it's like
it's a bad penalty.
You don't know that second chance is coming. So that's why it was bad in the moment.
It doesn't matter. He got the chance and he fucking blew that one too.
No, 1,000%. Like he'll be looking for a new job if.
I didn't see Pinheiro make the fucking Hail Mary catch either. DJ Moore did his job more than enough making that play.
1,000%.
And PJ Walker definitely has the throw of the year. That went 62 air yards.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And he was running back shoulder too.
Yeah, Mahomes gave him his flowers too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've been a DJ Moore guy for a while. I watched XFL that last go around, and he was my guy.
PJ Walker.
Yeah, Walker. I probably watched like 3 or 4 games, but still, I was loving that guy.
Yeah, no, he's good. He was he was in the running for MVP of.
He was the best, man. He was dominating that league. He was friggin' XFL Mahomes.
Yeah, it was great to see.
He's an electric factory.
The Battle of Pennsylvania goes to the Eagles, who are now 7-0. They look, like I said, I was so high on them in the year, and I still am. They could literally go 17-0. Like their schedule, I know they're gonna have an upset. They will have an upset somewhere along the line. But they're a fucking great team. AJ Brown, definitely is a key addition to their team. And Miles Sanders looking great. Jalen Hurts.
I think that was one of his better games of the year, like throwing the ball.
Easily the best game is
like those
pocket passing career.
I mean, like the first touchdown pass to AJ Brown, I think he did more than Hurts because he kind of mossed the double coverage.
Two people.
It wasn't a smart throw. Like I don't know what Hurts was seeing. He may have saw him open for a split second, but like I think AJ Brown did more on that. But like those 2 back shoulder plays in the corner of the end zone, like those were dimes, and he put the ball only where AJ Brown could get it, and it impressed me a lot. So it's good to see him like improving that area of his game because we all know what he can do with his legs. And me and Haydn, like me and you, we both talked about like Jalen Hurts, man. We know what you can do on the ground. Like let's start throwing the ball a bit more, and he's kind of showing us like, what he can do now in the air as well.
It's amazing to see. Eagles fans got to be super happy.
Yeah,
they look great. They're great all over the place.
All over. Yeah, literally, like they're special
every
teams.
Aspect of the team.
Yeah, special teams even is like no joke to look at. So
they just don't, like you said, they don't play anybody, so they might be in for a shocker in the playoffs. But is there anybody in the NFC outside maybe the friggin' Niners, like everybody sucks in the entire conference.
There
You're
has
gonna
to be
if you're
teams
gonna
that
say they
will
have to beat Kirk
rise.
Cousins in the playoffs, that's not like this crazy scary task,
That's
even if they
equivalent
do
to
win
prime
14
time,
games.
There
Yeah.
there will be teams that will upset the Eagles. Like,
which will be good for them.
yeah,
Let the
they
Chiefs
will.
and Bills play the Super Bowl right now. Leave the NFC alone.
Fuck.
Yeah. I think the Eagles, I think it'd benefit them. Like, drop the perfect record. I think they need
Yeah.
a tough loss to be like, all right,
Let's get
let's
back on track. I
we don't
agree.
have to worry about the perfect zero in the loss column. Like, we can drop that now. We need to get ready. We need to know what it takes to we need to be pissed off. We need to have a chip on our shoulder.
Exactly. They can't be
So
riding into the playoffs like literally they could clinch the playoffs in 5 weeks,
yeah.
but they still need to they can't overthink it. And that's usually what teams do.
Now, like, don't
But
play down to your opponent. Like, don't do that
yeah,
shit. But if you just lose in like f- game that could have
terrible
gone
way.
both, like in a game that could have gone both ways or something, like don't play down at all. But if like they take a loss, and I think it's more good for them than bad.
Yeah, exactly. 49ers beat the Rams again for like the seventh straight time in the regular season. It's just like almost betting Kyle Shanahan to beat McVay in the regular season is like free money. McCaffrey probably like the 49ers aren't looking back after they sent 4 picks to the Panthers,
No. What was it? Was
They
he the first player in Super Bowl era to have over
it's
30
Ladainian.
plus
Oh,
or
sorry.
since LaDainian Thompson? Yeah, because he
Yeah.
had like over 30 pass yards, rush yards, and
Yeah, but he might be in that
receiving
sense.
yards
Yeah,
with
he
Tomlinson had
might
the
be in
three
that sense,
TDs.
yeah.
You don't see running
the
backs throwing
touchdowns.
30-yard tuds often. They're usually short ones.
Yeah, it's like,
So
yeah, he had a 30-yard passing touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown and 90 yards on the ground or something like that. And then over 30
Over
yards receiving with a touchdown.
Yeah,
He's the
in
first
that
player to do
aspect, I'm
that.
pretty sure he's the first player, but he's the first player since LT to throw, catch, and rush for one.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome to see.
yeah, that's cool.
Probably could have seen that happening miles away because
Eh,
he's so good and now he's on a great team. It's awesome to see.
Yeah.
The Vikings beat the Cardinals. I mean, Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray. Who would you want rest of the season? Kirk Cousins. No,
They just keep winning games, man. They
the
just keep winning
Vikings.
games. I don't
Yeah,
think they're that good of a team, but I always thought they were a playoff team. I thought these Packers, Bucks, real quarterback teams were better. These
Yeah.
guys are dead.
at what point though? Like, are we gonna start actually looking at Kirk Cousins and this Vikings team who wins
He's
close
got to
games?
me, he's got to show up in the NFC Championship for me to like.
And that could be this year. You
And
never know.
he has to fucking given an actual like NFL performance on prime time, because like that's equivalent to a playoff game. And if you're putting in those fucking primetime performances, it's not going to cut it. You're going to have to rely on another bad performance on the other half of the field,
Yeah,
right? From your opponents. Like, you have to turn in good games when it comes to primetime, and like when all the eyes are on you. The Sunday 125 games or 105, or like the
10 a.m.
like ones where like no one's paying attention. It's like, yeah, you put in a good performance, sick, but like show me a good
Yeah,
performance when like everyone's watching.
no, you're definitely right. I think we'll see that this year. I don't know their Viking schedule exactly, but I don't know. I feel like this year's kind of different. Justin Jefferson's looking great, Adam Thielen's looking great, and Dalvin Cook is cooking.
Even
I
that
just don't see
backfield
how
is decent.
they beat a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes. Like I don't
I don't
even
either.
Yeah.
I don't either, but I definitely see them
like
kind of building from
I could
this.
see them going just like Goff went to one and just like Jimmy went to one. Both of them had a team, but
Good.
neither of them won it, and they're both still technically nobodies because of it.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
Kirk probably is a level above those two though.
I would
So
say so, just because of his efficiency and his touchdown to interception ratio. He's very, very clean with the ball. Like, he doesn't throw a lot of picks, which is a plus.
yeah.
Before we get into the Sunday night and Monday night games, your guys' Pats.
Yeah.
On a week where not a lot of people bet on the Pats. A lot of people push for the Jets just because of how good they've been playing, but Bill Belichick hasn't lost to the Jets in like 6 years, 7 years, something like that. So
Yeah, it's 13 straight.
that's fucking insane.
Well, I mean, fuck. How many other teams would have beat the Jets that many times in a row too?
Yeah, right.
But that win sucked. We got the win, sure, but quarterback play didn't look great. Offensive line didn't look great. It didn't instill any confidence in me.
No.
Don't see it. I said this earlier. They're the same team as last year. They beat bad teams. They lose to good teams. The shitty thing is we don't see any quarterback development yet. Like that's what we're wanted this year. See a jump in that position. And now I went from being like, he's the guy, he's gonna get it done, to I don't know. I don't think we have a guy now. So that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
There's
like
still
I know
time.
what you mean.
Still time. He's been injured, and the offense has been a work in progress in most of his games. But man, at the halfway point through the second year, your quarterback looking worse than he did as a rookie doesn't feel good.
we also have fucking Patricia calling our offense too. I'm sure that doesn't really help Mac Jones in any sort of aspect.
I think that's
Look, when we're
bigger than
beating
people
the
think.
shit out of the Browns and Lions, no one's fucking saying shit about that. Like
I still think it's something that's not good for the like stretch of Mac's career. Like if you want him to develop, you got to get him a guy that's going to stick around. You see guys who have four offense coordinators in the first 4 years of their career and they can't get shit going. Like Herbert.
Well, who says he's
like,
not going to stick around though? Like, who says we're just bringing in a new OC next year? I mean,
but like when you have a defensive guy running the offense, it's not, you don't really have the trust of Mac Jones and you're running the ball on 2nd and 16. Like you need to mix up the offense a little bit. I think we're just getting a little bit too predictable, which isn't helping anything. Right. And I think it's like setting us back and setting Mac's development back. And mind you, our offensive line hasn't been the greatest either. And Mac Jones,
I mean,
he's
at the end of the
getting
day, Josh McDaniels is back next year anyway. So we're right back to where we were. So it's fine.
fair. That's fair. That's a good point. But I agree with you. Like our QB development hasn't progressed anything, but I also don't think we've put him in the best position to develop at all. So
they're not getting any fucking playmakers. I don't know where they're getting one because there's no free agent receivers next year. I want to see a trade for Terry McLaurin, but who knows?
Yeah.
Good. Next game. My Saints absolutely mollywop the Raiders. Obviously the Raiders are not a good team. They are 2-5, but the Raiders have a very good offense. No Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah, the Raiders. The Raiders.
Devontae Adams has like 3 games under 40 yards.
But the Raiders' offense has put up at least 24 points. 23 points in one other game every game this season except for New Orleans. Devontae Adams was shut out. Josh Jacobs was basically shut out. 10 rushes, 43 yards. Now, and then like I was saying, there's no Marshawn Lattimore. So who was he going up against? He was going up against a second year and a rookie. Alontae Taylor, like obviously he's gotten nothing because he's a 2nd-round pick. That guy, he shut down Adams so hard, and I couldn't be more overjoyed. This is the type of win for me as a fan to be like, maybe I'm back on this train.
It's always fun getting a shutout.
Oh yeah, and the NFC South is so shit. It's like if this is the game, if this is the TSN turning point for a season, this is that game.
Yeah.
You know, like it was last week where Alvin Kamara stepped up and said, we need to get our swagger back. You know, we need to do something. And this could turn it around. I'm not saying it will because I honestly don't think it will, but Alvin Kamara scoring 3 touchdowns in a game, it's nice to see. It's nice to see.
As soon as you threw $10 on no touchdown,
I had to buy it. It's fine.
you had to hedge your happiness.
That's a win-win. That's a win-win.
It's a win-win. Yeah.
That's why we did it, Scott. We talked about it before kickoff. He was like, "Should I do it?" I was like, "Do it," because if he scores, you're happy. If he doesn't, you're winning. So
yeah,
that's nice.
So
they could contend. They got to get going. They threw a couple games away this year, so
They've definitely thrown a couple games, which is the sad part. And next week's not going to be any easier as they're going up against Baltimore. But I feel like just with how they played this game, someone's going to turn around.
Yeah.
Don't call it yet, but someone could. I don't know. Anyways, after that, a little happiness. The Bills beat the Packers like everyone saw coming. If you bet Bills minus 11, you're shitting yourself because Josh Allen threw that spread away twice.
Yeah.
Not his best game, and they still just dominate. It's scary as hell.
Like that Diggs Allen connection is just it's so back. They took like a minor, like a year off, kind of like they weren't that first year Stephon Josh, but like now it's just they're so back. Like
they're incredible. They're incredible. There may be like maybe second best AFC East team in the last 20 years, next to that 07 Pats team. That's it. Like they're so fucking good.
Yeah, absolutely electric. There's not much to say. The Packers look like ass, and they didn't go out and try and get anyone to help out Rodgers. So congratulations, Packers. You've done it again.
Yeah.
The Browns somehow beat the Bengals. Like, this is the type of shit that makes this season so fucking random, man.
So I don't bet on shit anymore, man. It's impossible to see it.
This is terrible. Like, how are the Browns beating the Bengals? The Bengals, like, they didn't let up a touchdown in the second half of any game until this game, and they let up 2 or 3 in the second half. Like, what is this?
Is it like a hot take at all to say that Nick Chubb is the front runner for Offensive Player of the Year this year?
Not a hot take at all. Nick Chubb looks
like he's just
so good.
He's the best pure runner in the NFL. Like it's Hayden, I wanted to bring this up earlier, but when you're saying like it's free money for Shanahan beating McVay in the regular season, anytime Chubb TD is like as free money as it gets. It's like almost it's like minus 5,000. He's gonna find his way into the end zone. Like
honestly,
he's just so quiet, and he splits with Kamara or with Hunt that you don't hear about him. Like if he was out there, looking like Kamara does or talking like Zeke used to and all this shit, he'd be a way bigger star.
Yeah, he's just he's unbelievable. He's so consistent, so easy to rely on.
And he doesn't catch the ball too. So people every year think, oh, he's not that great of a bat because he doesn't catch the ball. Yeah, but he gives you 100 on the ground every single game. And he breaks 50 tackles a game too.
Yeah, like
he's so good.
It's such like I'm not even surprised to see like beside a stat line, like 23 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
And he can catch the ball. They don't want to overwork him, and they got another guy who's great at it.
Yeah.
Like if he was in a different offense, he would be Christian McCaffrey
Yeah, easily a 3-down back. Like, and he could withstand that too because he's so big.
Yeah, he'll have 3 guys on him, and he just keeps the legs moving. He just gets an extra 3 or 4 yards. It's like this guy's a beast
on that run too. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like I think it was his first touchdown that he got. But there was like 5 defenders, and he just somehow shifted his way out, ran around, and scored. And it's like yeah, okay. No one just wants to tackle him the same way no one wants to tackle Derrick Henry. You know, like they have the exact same playing style, except Nick Chubb is like 4 inches smaller, and they're about the same quickness. And I think Chubb's a little bit more elusive, a lot more hoppier. But that's week 8. And then obviously today, trade deadline day, huge trade deadline day, biggest amount of trades that has ever happened in the last 30 years. I know we're kind of running on time here, so we'll make this quick. Bradley Chubb goes to the Dolphins. Chase Claypool goes to the Bears. TJ Hawkinson goes to the Vikings. Calvin Ridley, who bet on that, to the Jaguars.
I wanted him. I've been wanting him since the second he got fucking suspended.
Oh, dude, yeah, I thought he would go to a better.
That's such a classic Pats pickup, getting absolute talent for nothing.
And, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of conditions where it can get up to a second rounder, so it could be still a decent price, even though it doesn't look like one. But that's such a Pats trade. I thought it was happening.
I thought it would too.
Yeah, if he signs an extension, it's a second round pick
Yeah.
going back.
Chase Edmonds from the Dolphins to the Broncos. Why? I don't know.
Well, that was a part of the Bradley Chubb trade, and then they got Jeff Wilson after.
Yeah, but
So
I don't know why they would like.
I mean, maybe
If-
they wanted him for, what's his name, who's out, Williams, and
Yeah, but
Shan
they have Gordon Murray, and I know Boone just went on IR, but then
Chase Edmonds just hadn't fit really in Miami either. Like, and then they brought in
no.
Jeff Wilson, so they're fine right there. They didn't like. I
Yeah,
thought
the
he was going to be a
Dolphins
player
basically did
in
not.
Miami.
Yeah,
Like, I thought he might be a fantasy league winner. I wanted him bad. I'm like, I'll take Mostert because I couldn't get Edmonds. Well, that worked out.
yeah, Mostert has definitely proved himself as the number
Yeah, he
one.
hasn't got hurt yet for once.
There we go. Glass ankles is good.
knock on wood there. Got you, Scott.
Nyheim Hines and Zach Moss switch teams. I guess this is good for Nyheim Hines because now he's on a better pass offense, and I think they're going to utilize him a lot more. Zach Moss to the Colts. I don't get this one either. I know
it's
JT.
nothing. It makes the Bills better, I think, and it's nothing to do it.
For the Bills, 100%, but for the Colts, this is just nothing.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
Why wouldn't you just try and get like draft value, like a 6th or a 5th?
Wasn't it Zach Moss and something?
It was. Did they?
Yeah, it was Zach Moss and a pick for Nyheim Hines.
This is what happens when you're working. You just see like who the players
pick,
are.
Though.
Yeah.
Great. Nothing basically. Jets trade away Jacob Martin to the Broncos, which was needed after they got rid of Chubb. Rashad Fenton. This was one that I didn't see coming from the Chiefs, but as their undrafted or their 7th round draft pick rookie has kind of showed up. Fenton to the Falcons. Pretty good move. And then Dean Marlowe going to the Bills from the Falcons. That's a good move since is it Micah Hyde that's or is it Jordan Poyer that was season ending? I can't really remember.
I think it's Hyde.
They both kind of play the exact same style in my opinion. But okay. Yeah, Hyde. And then Commanders send William Jackson III to the Steelers.
Steelers safety or secondary is so shitty right now. Anything will help it.
Literally, I was like, I don't even know who William Jackson III is, but
I was seeing earlier this week that the Commanders were going to cut him. So getting anything for him is nice.
Yeah,
I saw that trade praised a little bit. Some people think he might be a good piece for Pittsburgh.
Very well could be, but too bad Pittsburgh just isn't going to be anything this year.
Yeah,
I think there's just a lot of trades. I thought I saw like a common theme where it's like it wasn't like the blockbuster trades like the Bradley Chubbs of the world and stuff, but or like the Roquan Smiths. But I think players are going to teams where they'll get more of a chance to play up to their potential. Kind of like Hines and Claypool. Like I just think if they're given more of an opportunity, then they'll kind of play up to their value. Like I think a 2nd round pick for Claypool might have been a bit much, but I also think like he had 950 yards and 9 touchdowns in a rookie year because he was getting the ball. So I think if he can just even be more involved in the offense, he can run like in the end arounds, kind of like a Mecole Hardman type. Like if he just gets the ball more, then I think he could be a good piece.
He's not worth a second, but there were teams that needed that young piece, so you have to overpay it. There's no free agents.
Well,
that's the youngest receiver on the Bears now. Like, yeah, they only pass the ball 11 times a game, but maybe if they have a threat, it's a good pickup by them because he still has a chance to develop, and it's also a great move by Pittsburgh. Like, they got
Pickens
a
2nd round pick for him, then like.
Well,
you're
Claypool
laughing with
was
a deep
2nd round pick too.
With
that seems like a lateral move and almost even a downgrade because you're going to get an unproven guy now. But they got Pickens there and they have holes all over their roster. So they need to, they don't necessarily need to use that on receiver. If they bring back Johnson, they're fine. Claypool was done there the second Pickens was drafted, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And so I like people are saying this like Steelers fleeced. Like, I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are saying. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Claypool doesn't like shine, but if he shines in Chicago, like he's shown how athletic he can be. He showed at the combine how fast he can be. Like, he's a physical specimen, but like he just wasn't really being utilized in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
So I just think if he's just given more opportunity in Chicago, then he could pan out.
And I definitely agree with the whole no, I don't agree with the whole overpayment because we've seen now that receivers, especially this year, all of them getting massive contracts. A second round for a guy like Chase Claypool now probably going to seem really good if he gets the ball as much as we're saying or as much as we're thinking.
Yeah.
Because if he turns into like let's say for the last half of the season, he's on pace for like 110 receptions or 120. I think I'd give a second round pick for a 120 reception
Sure.
guy, you know?
Give a friggin' first round pick for that, but
Right?
I don't
See,
think
like
that's possible with their scheme, but
I don't either,
still.
but like I don't know, maybe Fields
And
just
that's not
doesn't
even
feel
like
like he doesn't have
even
a
then they
guy.
don't even need it like that. They just him having big play like capabilities. Even if they're
Yeah.
only going to give him 3 or 4 catches, they'll run the ball like crazy,
Like, would
and then
you
he can get you a jump ball every once in a while, get you 40 yards, get you a fade in the end zone.
would you give up a second round pick for Mike Williams?
Oh yeah,
No.
oh
Maybe.
yeah, I would. Why not?
And Mike Williams and Claypool are, in my opinion, pretty similar. Like, I think like they're jump ball receivers. Like, Mike Williams is what, top 2 jump ball
Mike
receiver in the
Williams is what
league.
you
Like,
want
he's a
Claypool to become,
yeah. Like, so
but he's got
that's
the
just
age for you.
yeah. And I'm just kind of like alluding to what Scott's saying. Like, he doesn't need to be like a guy like a Keenan Allen who's getting like 110 receptions a year. Like, if he's just like a guy who can get 3 catches for like 78 yards and one of them's a 50-yard bomb, then and even if you just get him more involved in like the running game, kind of like end arounds and stuff, if he's just in the game, like involved and stuff like that, and then I think like it'll be worth a second round pick.
Yeah. Maybe I was kind of praising it a little bit wrong there, but
Like, I think he'll get more than 3 catches a game, but
I think
like
he needs to get more than 3 catches because I know when he gets, around 6 to 10 catches a game, it's usually because they're playing well.
yeah,
They're not playing for scrambling. And if he's only going there to be a 3 reception, 70, 80 yard guy, but one of them's a 50-yard reception, like that's that I don't feel like that's who Claypool is. I feel like Claypool is the guy who needs to be uh the main look. And he's gonna get his shot now.
yeah,
He just
I
has
agree.
to prove it, and Eberflus has to work him into this system because yeah, if he comes out his first game in Chicago and looks like the clear number one, I think already in one game it could make or break this trade, in my opinion.
Are you starting him in fantasy if you have him?
I would.
Yeah.
New player on a new team, I feel like they always kind of show up for the new team,
What about Pickens? You start Pickens this week?
I would never. No, I wouldn't even start Pickens. I wouldn't
Like
start
he
him for
just
the
became
whole.
basically a new receiver on a new team. He's now number 2, solidified.
But it's like it's Deontay Johnson's or no one's, especially how bad Pittsburgh is, man. I like that video of Najee Harris getting the ball and then
That
Yeah,
was
he
not
that
sucks,
doing
man.
was
anything.
that was
He's
hilarious.
awful.
That was
Yeah.
so
I
funny.
won't even tell you who I traded for him at the start of the year, but fuck. I'm still in first in this league though, so it's fine.
Oh my God.
But I mean, hey, anytime you give up a second round pick for a top 3 receiver like Claypool says he is, it's a bargain.
Top
So
3, man. Yeah. Top 3 from BC.
yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
that's awesome. But Hayden, you got any more on the NFL front?
Two quick things. Players you should see or expect to see cut. Two players, Brandon Cooks, Cam Akers. It looks like Brandon Cooks is literally threatening the Texans to cut him, or else he won't play. Which is stupid because this guy was paid so much fucking money.
The fact that they
Uh,
didn't try and trade him for anything is ridiculous.
Terrible. Kareem Hunt looks like he's going to be staying in Cleveland. But yeah, Cam Akers, I know they already said if they can't find a trade partner for him, they're cutting him. So
Yeah, he even said that he won't play again. He's like, I don't
Yeah,
think it's best for my career to play here again.
which
What
is
a bust of
absolutely
a keeper
insane.
that was.
Yeah,
I came out of
but
the
that's
blue.
pretty much it.
All right, Scott. Well, sorry for keeping you too long.
No, we're good.
But I appreciate you stopping by, staying a bit longer at the old BCIT sports desk or studio to come on with us. Where can the people find you? I know you do some writing and stuff like that. Where can the
Yeah,
people find that?
Twitter @_ Scott Ani and on the Leafs Nation. Breaking down sports news generally a couple times a week. So check out the Leafs Nation. Even if you're not a Leafs fan, we got some other good stuff on there, good content.
Yeah, I've read it a few times. It's some good work, buddy. Hayden, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Haydn_Barton and on TikTok at HBart13.
All right, and you guys know where to follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at @LeftsideHeavy_. Follow myself on Instagram at Jevon.Lefave and Twitter at JevonLefave. Check out the YouTube, Left Side Heavy. Subscribe, like, comment, share, do all that jazz. And look out Friday. We got a KBNR coming with my boy Colton Keller for a great interview about his pro career journey, playing over in Germany. Through Edmonton, playing for like in the WHL, playing at UBC, stuff like that, and he's now in the ECHL for the Idaho Steelhead. So it was a great interview. So look out for that on Friday. Scott, once again, thanks for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Peace.